Hi there, and welcome to this lesson on angles in triangles. As we get started here, I want to remind you of something, and this is something that really you should know as an 8th grader. You need to remember that there are 180 degrees inside a triangle. What that means is the sum of the 3 interior angles of the triangle is 180 degrees. So, I have an example here for you. I've got a nice little right triangle here. I know it's a right triangle because I see that it has a 90-degree angle right there, as indicated with not only those 90 degrees, but then also this little box there, that little notation always indicates 90 degrees. That's called a right triangle. So I take that 90 degrees, add the 50 degrees that I see. 90 plus 50 gives me 140 degrees that is currently known. Now, if I'm trying to find the value of this missing angle here, angle X, what I do is I take the 180 degrees, that would be the sum of all 3 angles put together, subtract off the 140 degrees that I just calculated to obviously have with the 90 plus 40, and 180 degrees minus 140 degrees leaves me with a 40 degree, and that is the missing angle measure. So, if I go back and add 90 plus 50 plus another 40, that had better sum up to 180 degrees because there are 180 degrees inside every triangle. That's going to be really crucial to remember that as you're progressing through this lesson. Also important in this lesson, as you're about to find out, is that you're going to have to remember some of the other kinds of angles and the terminology that we've been reviewing in class. Things like vertical angles, supplementary angles, complementary angles. Those relationships between angles are going to come into play during this lesson. Let's practice finding the missing angle measure. Here we have another triangle. I know that all 3 of them have a sum of 180 degrees. I see I've got 65 and 65. Which makes 130 degrees. That is what is known right now inside the triangle. Here's my unknown angle. So I take my 180, subtract off what I know I have. Oops, that should be a 0. Let's just start that over. Answer of 50 degrees for my missing angle measure, right? This is pretty basic. All calculator work. What about this thing? Look at this guy. Do you see? I've got a 45. What's this guy down here? That's a 90. And then there's your unknown angle measure there. So you take your 90, add your 45. That gives you 135 degrees. 180 inside the whole thing. Subtract off the 135 that you know. 45 degrees is your missing angle measure. Couple more. Very similar to the last one. There's another 90. 90 and 40 makes 130 degrees. The whole thing has 180. Take off the 130 that you know. This missing angle measure would be 50 degrees. I think I threw one more in down here just for good measure. Yep, 70 and 70. 140 degrees that I know of. 180 in the whole thing. Take off the 140 that you know. 40 degrees is your missing angle measure. All right, so that's plenty of examples. Now we turn it up a notch. We dial it up. Woo, this looks a little more complicated. Well, no worries. Let's just take what we know about triangles and angles and see if we can find this question mark angle right over here. That's the guy we're trying to figure out. Okay, well, what do I know? I know this triangle has 180 degrees inside the whole thing. But right now I only know that angle measure. I don't know the other 2. But I know that this fella sitting out here is 70 degrees. And he is adjacent to this angle right here. Not adjacent to, I'm sorry, vertical. Vertical to that angle right there. So hopefully you remember that vertical angles are congruent, which means that angle right there has to be 70 degrees because it is vertical to this 70-degree angle. Yay, now of the 180 inside this triangle, I know 85 and 70 is 155. So you take your 180 degrees, take off the 155 that you figured out you have inside. 25 degrees is this angle. And if this guy is 25 degrees, so is that guy because they are vertical angles. So the missing measure is 25 degrees. Why is this so sloppy? That's better, and that's your final answer. That was pretty quick. Let's do another. All right, here we go again. Now you look at this and you might think, ooh, this looks like a 90-degree angle right there. Wrong, it is not. Unless it has been indicated by that box already being drawn, then it's not 90 degrees, even if it might look like it is. Let's see, what can we deduce here? What can we put together? Well, I need to know this angle and this angle in order to find angle Z, right? I'll give them some letters here. How can I find X and Y? Well, look at this. This is 155, and I know that that 155 plus Y makes 180. So that must mean that angle Y is 25 degrees. Right? Because 155 and 25 makes 180 for supplementary angles. So now, if Y is 25 and I've got this 60, now inside my triangle I know that I have 85 degrees. But I know all three of them added up equals 180. Take off the 85 that I know, and that leaves me with 95 degrees as the measure of X. So if X is 95 degrees, what is Z? What is this guy? Well, do you see it? Z and X are again supplementary, just like the 155 was with the Y over there. Supplementary adds up to 180. So, 180, take off that 95 that you've got. 85 degrees is that missing angle right there. That is angle Z. So do you see how we are taking our knowledge of supplementary angles and vertical angles and pairing that up with our knowledge about every triangle has 180 degrees inside it? I mean, this is geometry. This is how this all comes together. We have one last one. Interesting. Lots going on here. Where can I start? I like the bottom triangle. Do you know why I like the bottom triangle? Because it has 2 degrees. Of the 3, I know 2 of them. 20 and 40 makes 60. 180 and the whole thing, take off the 60 I know, means that the missing angle there is 120 degrees. Now I know all 3 angles there. Guess what? This angle and this angle are vertical. They're back to back. They're pointing in opposite directions. So this angle must also be 120 degrees. Now, of that top little triangle, I know 2 of the 3. I've got 120 plus 39 is 159. The whole thing has 180 minus 159. 21 degrees is the question mark angle. putting it all together. This time we used the 180 degrees inside a triangle, and we used our knowledge of vertical angles, and then we used our knowledge again of 180 degrees inside a triangle. This is good math. This is good geometry. I'm excited to see how you do with this in class. Which brings me to this. For the next few days, we're going to be working on an angles and triangles worksheet in class as we practice this new skill. I look forward to it. I'm sure you do too. Bye-bye.